goodbye. And if you can hear me, Shambavi here. Thank you very much. Shantanu, can we have us on the screen, please?
Yes, you're right here.
Ta-da! Yes. Good morning. Marhaba,
Yay.
everybody who's listening to us on LinkedIn or who's going to listen to us later on LinkedIn. This is Shambavi here from Shambavi Spectrum, live on LinkedIn. And I have with me today Shantanu and Sharjeel, who are live from Vancouver on 2 Bits of Marketing YouTube channel and the Shambavi Spectrum Facebook. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I know it's the middle of the night. We had an amazing testing session yesterday and we had a lot of fun. And please, I would like you to just introduce yourselves to our lovely audience here.
Perfect. I'll go first, if that's okay with Sharjeel. Hi, my name is Shantanu Gupta. I have been in Vancouver, Canada for close to 5 years now. Thoroughly enjoyed this part of the world. A bit about 2 Bits of Marketing. Sharjeel and me started this last year, and we have been working on different podcasts, bringing a really good content about marketing in today's world, which is not really based on FOMO and trends, but more about what it really needs to showcase to the world what marketing is, which is not FOMO, of course. And then about me, I have experience in sales, in marketing, and also in different industries. So I've been very lucky to be in, and fortunate, I would say, to be in different industries and learn and work with amazing folks such as Sharjeel. We are ex-colleagues too, and get to meet Dr. Shambavi too. So I feel myself very privileged to be there and to be in this space globally where we are sitting in Vancouver, different time zone, and she's in Dubai, and then we are using a great platform and we are just connected virtually, and it's great. So that's a bit about me. And a fun fact about me, if I could say, is I'm a self-learned photographer. I really enjoyed this process of learning this because I'm a curious mind, so I always try to learn something new. So self-learned and all, just going into the journey right now. So yeah, that's a bit about me. And Sharjeel, on you.
Yep. Hello. Hello, everybody. What's up? My name is Sharjeel Yunus, and I got to Vancouver not too long ago. Maybe it's been 9 months, but for the last 10, maybe 12 years, almost 10, 12 years, I've been working in getting people to buy something because I needed to pay my bills business, right? So it's the strategic side of things, it's the marketing side of things, it's the communication side of things. And 2 Bits of Marketing, like Shantanu mentioned, something that we started. And if there's a single-minded vision and purpose for that, it is to really help entrepreneurs and SMEs particularly save billions in misinformed and misguided marketing and strategic moves. Because trust me, that is one thing we see a lot. The intent is good, but everything else is not necessarily there yet. And that's also the intent behind us doing this series in collaboration with Dr. Shambhuvi and seeing how we can really help that entrepreneur ecosystem, help small businesses, and really look at strategy in the way that it's usable and effective. So that's pretty much a little bit about me in terms of fun facts, because Shantanu has now set a trend all of a sudden that we were unaware of. I write a lot of poetry, short stories, and stuff like that. So much more on the writing, oration side of things, and I do a bunch of different podcasts as well. And the idea for some of my podcasts is culture assimilation and culture storytelling, because I really deeply value that space, and I think there's tremendous stuff that you can truly experience and create when diversity and culture is really put together. So yeah, that's a
And
fun
I think,
fact about
Sharjeel, you totally
Yes.
forgot about your travel experience, which I think is very,
it. Yeah,
you shouldn't miss that out. There's no way you should,
yes,
right?
yes.
Go, Sharjeel, we'll come back to that in just a little bit. Let me introduce because I just realized that I have a whole lot of new people who have connected to and a whole lot of audience. Suddenly, I find myself being followed, and you know what? Very soon, I'm going to reach the 5,000 number. Not that I believe great in watching out for numbers, but it's nice to have, and it's a nice milestone that I look forward to. As always, an academician, this semester I'm actually teaching entrepreneurship, innovation, and startup management, which is amazing. It's given me new insights into what are the challenges which entrepreneurs are facing and which they don't even realize that they are facing. So that has been some one new set of facts and my bridge between academia and industry for me. And now that you have mentioned the fun fact, I have to say that though I keep talking on live and I talk on podcasts and Mensa and the whole thing, I actually prefer listening than talking. I know it's a little hard to believe, but that is the fact. Sharjeel and Shantanu, we decided to do this SWOT and TOWS. And we are going to start with the strategy part. We're going to talk a little SWOT, and then we will head on to what was our main agenda for today as well. It's all about owned media. Whenever I say owned media, people are like, what? I'm like, yes, it's owned media. You are in control of it. That's why it's called owned media. And there are so many small things which one can do and which one can grow. And then you know where you are, you fix your positioning, and you are in control. That's why it's owned media. Let's start with the session. And are you going to tell us about the travel now, or is it going to be a mid trivia?
Oh, we'll do it like we'll do the SWOT toes matrix in relation to the travel story. So we will
Oh,
find a
wow.
way to hammer
That
it in.
that sounds like a plan. Right. Go ahead. Can we have a presentation? So please,
Oh, yes.
yes, Shantanu, it's your call. Go ahead.
Yay. I get to be the first one to really screw up. So it's always great to be in the position. Uh,
Please pardon. I'm pardoning everybody's French out here, please, or their language, whatever it's called.
Yes.
yeah. So what is marketing strategy, right? We want to make sure that we start our presentation on a very baseline goal, which is if you don't have a strategy, you are kind of out there cluelessly just walking around and just trying to shoot in the dark and trying to make sure that somewhere it hits and then you are able to get the results. But marketing strategy, as it says, I don't want to really bore everyone by reading it, but it is a long-term plan. Let's be real, it is not a short-term plan. You cannot have a strategy for 3 months or 6 months. You need to think beyond years. Like you have to really think when you're starting a brand, how good your strategy is. What it does really when you do this is uh, it defines your company's position. And if you're starting as a new brand or entrepreneur, it makes you have a clarity to really guide your team to where you want to lead the brand and the vision, and then you can really backtrack and create a strategy together. So I would want to also put your focus onto the diagram on the left, which is a really cool diagram where if you see those two arrows pointing at product and promotion, that's where everyone today in excitement, they have a great product, they have a great idea, they're like, let's jump into this, let's get the product out in the open, and let's just start promoting it without even thinking, is it needed, what the market segmentation is, what kind of audience research are we doing. So very important point to note, if you guys are taking notes, I would encourage you guys to, because this is a very informative session, is first go to the diagnose part, which is go top to bottom here instead of bottom to top strategy, where you try to first understand the market orientation. If you have a value proposition as a brand, is it something the market is needed or the audience is there for it? And make sure that it is oriented to the market. Like you can of course create a new market, but that requires a lot more effort, right? That's why diagnosis is so important. And the market research is one of the most key fundamental elements of anything in marketing. And if you even take it to through the lens of life, you always research before you buy something, be it a very small thing or something big you buy in your life. But why do we do that? Just because we kind of know what we want, but we want to research first and make sure that our decisions take us to that point. And from there, I can quickly jump to this point which says strategy versus tactics. Now, this is where you kind of uh, bridge the gap. Like strategy is a long-term goal. You have a vision of what you want to achieve, but you need to be tactical about it as a marketer or as a solo entrepreneur or anybody starting their business. Because say you wanted 10% increase in your sales, that's a great strategy. That's a long-term goal in next 1 year. What is going to get you there is the tactic you create. If you're creating good SEO backlink pages, if you are there in the right market to reach out to your audience, that is what is going to get you to create the strategy. So in simple terms, tactics are more like short-term goals, but they align well with the strategy. They always have to. You cannot have a tactic which is not serving the purpose for the strategy. Super important, it because strategy has a clear defined goals, and it is very straightforward. And tactics are like you might have to deviate a bit, be more creative, which is always the fun part, but you're always thinking about the strategy in the long term, but you are using the different steps to reach there. Now, again, coming back to the picture, once you have done your research, you are totally exhausted. You're like, oh, my work is done. Let's go to the brand. Let's take the product out. No, you still have market segmentation. You have figured out how the market is, what the orientation of the product is, but you haven't segmented it out. Is it for someone who is looking to buy something expensive? Is it for someone in middle class uh, family bucket, or is it for lower tier customers? Right? You have to make sure that your segmentation is right, and then one of the most important, which I love, is targeting, because it's a very loose kind of word used everywhere. Like, just target your audience, choose 0 to 1,000, and you will get no. You have to be really, you have to be really. Sorry, I'm just looking at Sharjeel and I'm like, yeah, he's chuckling, but right, targeting is super important because you have to be very creative in the way you target. Don't go the way people have done it in the past. The whole point of you doing today, you have the courage, you have got the idea, you have the product. Think of something unique. Reach out to folks who know this thing, who are doing something different in today's world. They aren't going by the book, and they're doing it from the intuition and from the experience they have. So targeting is, you have to really think about demographic, where you're targeting. Are these the folks who are going to try? And it's a trial and error method. So don't really feel like, okay, I tried, it did not work. It might not work on the first try, third or fourth try, it might work. Then is the positioning super important in this case now, because you're positioning a product to be, say, I can give a quick example. A big brand like Apple and Nike, they don't sell their products cheap, or they don't make it go on sale a new product, because their positioning is so important that people should want to get your product. They should feel like, okay, this product is great. They are never undermining their quality of the product. So positioning is pretty important there. Then is the price, place, and product promotion. Now is the execution. So now you're like, okay, I'm super tired. What do I do? Reach out to the marketing folks, reach out to us, reach out to Shambhavi, reach out to anyone you need to, because we are going to put everything together, think about what you have done, and then help you out to put the right price, which place you should really target. You don't have to be on all the channels, not required. That's very important about strategies. Do not go to every channel where everybody says so, because you might not be able to sell, but you're investing a lot of hours of human hours and money just to be there, and it's not getting you any return for no reason. So I think that a bit about that will be spoken in the next slides, so I will not really go into that in detail. Goals of marketing strategy. Sorry, Shambhavi, go ahead. Yeah.
No, you just, before you change the slide, I want to say something, but go ahead, Shantanu, and finish this goals of marketing strategy. Go ahead.
Goals of marketing strategy is like this. Yeah, make sure that you know your audience. You also have the value proposition. That is super important. I think a lot of brands, a lot of new entrepreneurs get that wrong, where they're like, hey, my product is solving this problem, but that's not a value proposition. It's just your thought. It's your idea. You accept it, we understand, but you have to really, when somebody's looking at your product first time, they have to see, like, if tomorrow they see 2 bits of marketing, they have to understand what we stand for and what value we bring to the table. So super important. And then we have other things which I've already spoken about, right? Promotion, price, and place. So 4 Ps. And lastly, budgeting for strategy. Budgeting kind of works like, it gives you a baseline that, okay, I have 100K, I don't want to go above, but be very flexible that, somehow or the other you are going to go a bit over your budget always, just because people get very ambitious, they get very excited when they are doing things. And if something is doing well, make sure that you're there to modify your budgeting. You don't have to really commit to one part of budget in one channel. If other channel is doing well, take out the money immediately and put it out there. So equally important to be very resourceful and be very active in the way the results are coming through. Look at the data, look at good data streams where you can understand, and just learn from those things and just figure out your budgeting. So super important. Do not spend money where it's not needed. And I think that will be the best strategy among all the strategies out here. So that's a bit in the slide. If you have any questions, feel free to comment here and we'll try to reply that too. And yeah, next slide, please.
Yes. So please feel free to post in the comments or in the approaching any of the channels which we have, which we'll share links later as well. So the strategy part, which I wanted to share actually. So this is my serious poker face when I'm teaching strategic marketing or strategic management. The first day I will go into class and say, what is strategy, and then who's the best strategist, and everybody is looking at each other, scratching their little bit of heads and thinking, where is she coming from and what does she want? They say a chess player is the best strategist, and then sorry, and like, yeah, because they plan 3 moves ahead for themselves and for what the other player will do, the counter play as well. So as always, and then everybody, yeah, that sounds like something which is what one should be doing. Are you doing it is the question. So I just love the fact, Shantanu, that you brought market research into it, because we can't emphasize enough on how important research is, whether it's secondary, primary, just talking to people, focus groups, small things. But that is so, so important in understanding what are actually the customer pain points and what is it that you are yourself trying to do. So thank you so much. Sharjeel, anything on this slide that you want to say
Yes,
before you?
the bit where Shantanu started talking about targeting, and he just went, this is possibly the most misused term in the modern marketing jargon, 100%. Because somehow you tell people, ooh, effective targeting, million likes. It doesn't really mean anything. For example, we have worked with brands where we used to buy YouTube's masthead in India, which automatically gives you 1.5 billion impressions. That doesn't really mean effective targeting, right? It means everybody. Now, of course, some brands can gain value from that, but effective targeting is about getting the most out of what you're putting in, not really putting in too much. So, just that bit.
Yeah, so I really like this fact, because in all the interactions that I've had with you, Sharjil, you always keep saying that yes, you can do something, but is it really having an impact, and is it the kind of impact that you want? So that becomes so important, and I keep thinking about effective and. Thank you, gentlemen. I've learned on this slide some things, and I'll go back to it again. Do we want to? Yes.
Yes.
SWOT. So I'm not going to read what is written out here. I'm just going to say what I usually will say in the class. What is SWOT? I'll say, who knows SWOT analysis, and mostly because I'm teaching in advanced sessions, or even when I'm talking to entrepreneurs, you've done a SWOT analysis. Usually there'll be a listing of strength, weakness, opportunities, threats, and the first common mistake which we tend to make is identify opportunities and threats for ourselves as a personal or as organization, rather than looking at opportunities and threats which are actually common to the whole world, to the industry specifically. And it comes out from your analysis of the macro environment, which includes the pestle factors, and that is your political, economical, social, technological, legal, and environmental factors, rather than actually just looking at yourself. So once you have made this list, you need to further go on to create that analysis part of it, and then going back to goals and strategies, as mentioned earlier by Shantanu. So internal versus external. So coming back, strength and weakness are your internal. So sometimes you may say that yes, opportunities and threats, the way it is phrased has to be that it is not just for you. You are looking at that. This is an opportunity which is available to everybody. Like, for example, having an app. Everybody does that, has an app or trying to do it. And I remember those times when, one would think, why do I need to download this app? But downloading the app is something which everybody is very comfortable with now. What are the problems with having an app and doing that? We've discussed that before, Shantanu and Sharjil, and we know what all the challenges are on that front,
Oh yeah.
specifically. So, but I'm just saying it's an opportunity which is available to anyone. And if you think that you are going to make some impact out of it after you've created all your strategies and stuff, then go for it. So that is available to, whether it is you're an aggregator, an e-commerce, or whether you are counselor, coach, anybody, everybody can. So coming back, you need to focus on what is the opportunity and threat for everyone which is available. So if you've done it today, it's successful, there will be others also who will do it. Similarly, whatever the risks of technology, what the cyber security, those are threats which are for everyone, common to everybody. So please consider it like that, and don't just make a list. Create a strategy which will say, okay, this is my strength, these are the opportunities, this is the easiest, the short term goal which I can immediately go into, and then you work around how you will achieve those goals. Then weakness and opportunities. Weakness, if you can kind of tweak them, work on them. It could be skill based, it could be resource based. If it comes to budget, we can't really do much with it, but you can think about it that in the next budget, okay, this is my weakness, that I've not put enough money into this particular thing. I will, whenever I have next some revenue, I'm going to put it into that. So you start thinking about it. So that is when it becomes into an analysis rather than just a listing. Then of course comes the strength and the threat. How can you combat your threat? And your weakest link is the weakness and the threat, which you really need to be careful for. You may not be able to do much, but you have to continuously monitor it to make sure that you're not falling trap into that. So this is something which I wanted to share, and this is again which I think all organizations on and off should, like you do a strategy session, do a SWOT also, because there could have been changes in the organization. People could have moved positions within the organization. We don't even want to say that they left, or you have new people who've come who have more skills, better skills, and you can use them better. So look again and again at your SWOT at least once in 4 months, if not earlier on. What do you have to say, Shantanu, Sharjil? Anything you want to add here?
Um, I would say, depending on which kind of business you are, of course, and which phase of the business you're in, you want to look at SWOT and SWOT square quite regularly. Like once in 6 months is what I would say a good starting point for most companies who have a product and they're just getting into the market. If you're a startup, you have to do it a lot quicker because you never know where your weakness and opportunity truly is. And threats are fundamentally a challenging thing to really understand because most businesses do not fully like acknowledging their own threats, right? It's hard to come to that reality. It's almost asking, hey, tell me what are the weakest bits about your own business. And then you have to write it down. Oh my God, that is so vulnerable to an entrepreneur. Why would you do that? It might seem counterintuitive, but it really helps. So yeah, Nishant.
Yeah, a bit. I think you guys really captured the whole essence of SWOT, right? But what I think is, what clicked my mind is think of a company which is right now an AI business, right? Artificial intelligence. The way products are coming out, Chat GPT 4, 4.5, 5, 6, 7, whatever comes in the future, you thought that product is great, the best in the world right now, and you already have a threat in a month, in a week or so. So just think of this way, as Shurjit pointed out, right? If you are entrepreneur or a young business, pretty much maybe bi-weekly exercise, if not more, is because also it aligns your departments together. If you find some gaps, you have folks to really put in their ideas together, and that's how a team wins always. And I think SWOT really helps there. And very good point on threats. Like acknowledging your shortcomings are the most important thing to really thrive as a business and as an individual. So yeah, I think we really covered the slide really well. So
Now, Shami, anything you'd like to add before we
Uh,
move to the next?
no, we can come back to it. It's I would, yeah, please go ahead and let's look at
Perfect.
this, which is
Welcome,
our
ladies.
title also for the session.
Yes, the SWOT X TOWS analysis. Okay, so a couple of context points. I think this is a great analysis framework that has a marketing problem, which is to say that calling it SWOT X TOWS sounds silly. Let's call it SWOT square going forward, right? SWOT square sounds smarter, and essentially, this is fundamentally a smarter version of how you may be able to get some of the action orientation out of the SWOT analysis. So once you've done your SWOT analysis, what you really do is you sort of compound it. It's like folding it in on itself. Imagine like a really, really good pastry, right? Or like a really good ravioli. You place something in the center and then you close it in on itself and it makes something really special. That's sort of the analogy we're going for over here. So right at the start, we mentioned something about, Shanta mentioned something about travel. Just to give a quick context over here, I spent 500 days on the road in my car traveling India while having a job in the company. right? So let's just quickly look at how some things might really play into it over here. If you look at strengths was I was hyper flexible, right? What was my weakness? I could not be in the same place, so therefore network may have always been sketchy. What were opportunities? I could meet clients and get local information really quickly, especially in places where I needed to do market research. What were certain threats? If I kept not showing up to work, I would lose a job, right? Very simple. These are like advice. So how was I using something like this? My flexibility was used with my opportunity with me traveling. I started picking up a lot of data points and having conversations around health in tier two and tier three India, right? Right from public health and sanitation all the way to personal hygiene, right? And working in a company where I used to work as a strategist for healthcare companies, this was great insights and great information that we were getting access to, right? In terms of weakness and threats, that's tough for me to avoid. I am hugely into hiking. There was this one time I remember I wanted to do a hike which was going to take me about 2.5 hours, which was to Buxa Fort, which is, if for people who may be less aware of this, is a state in India called West Bengal, right at the northern border of Bengal is almost where Buxa is. So I have to do a hike over there. Northeastern border, right? So I'm going, I start the hike. I'm on the hike. I look at the thing. I'm like, oh my God, there's only 20 minutes left for my meeting. Right? I remember reaching the top. I thought I'd give myself like 10 minutes break, and I ran all the way down. I ran, and I was like, and I reached. I reached my meeting, what I thought was 15 minutes late, thoroughly ashamed. That's when I realized my phone had switched to China's time, and I was not really late at all. I was just in a different time zone, and internet was messing with me. Right? So those were some threats, but the acknowledgement that that was a threat made it easy for me to avoid like problems. It's not like, oh my God, alert, alert, alert. So no, I was knowledgeable that my weakness is bad internet, and I needed to be in an area of good internet, and I knew time was a threat. So once you note these things down, it becomes easy to look at fixing these. And that's the idea behind doing the SWOT square, right? You take what your inherent strengths and weaknesses, opportunities, threats are, and you see how you can either really profit from it or you totally give that up. For example, another trek I really wanted to do was the Himalayan National Trek, the National Park Trek, which is a 14-day trek, right? But nobody, you have to really take a sabbatical to do that. You can't really do that normally, right? You have to apply for leave. It has to be a full vacation, and I couldn't do that. And I knew that's a battle I didn't want to fight, right? So I just gave it up. That's the other bit that SWOT Square really helps you fundamentally put down, which is these are not battles worth fighting. Somebody else is better positioned to fight this battle and win. And that's not to say you cannot fight. It's just that fighting is going to be costlier and maybe less rewarding. So that's the fundamental principle behind doing the SWOT square analysis. It's an alignment between your goals, strategies, tactics, actions, everything to really make sure that the entire company and business is working in harmonious ways. So that's the thing about this. Shantanu, Dr. Shambavi, anything you'd like to add?
You are on mute, Shambi. So sorry.
Thank you. I always say this: the most animated conversations take place when you're mute.
Yeah. So
So
you
I
had a
wanted
thread already, which was on
Yeah,
mute.
no, exactly. And thank God for pointing that out. And, so I wanted to say, like, this opportunity of going live and using StreamYard, using three platforms where, like, two bits of marketing and using my LinkedIn, using the Facebook. This is available, and this is available to everyone, like, as I say. And the time challenge, I know what we went through, Sharjil, before we figured out what time it would be in Dubai and in
Yeah.
Vancouver. And this is applicable to everyone. And yes, like you've pointed it out very well, we need to, and especially this time thing, because we are crossing the time barriers and meeting people, we really need to be on top of it as to what time you want to attend something or a meeting. But I'm glad you were not late, because that would have, you would have felt really miserable about that. So that that is something. uh, should we, Shantanu, you want to say something before we move on to further?
I just feel Sharjeel kind of really took it all in. Like he really took the whole storytelling together and just made it really nice. He made S.W.O.T-squared fun. I think that's how it should be. But yeah, I feel it's one of the best tool out there because we were just talking in the previous slide where you want to figure out your threats and you're not acknowledging it. But this kind of tells you to reflect right there. When you've done the exercise, go back and just look at it again. You know what you are missing and what you are good at. And it's always good to just focus on what you're good at sometimes. It's not a bad thing. People say like you should be great at multitasking as an entrepreneur or as a business, but no. If you focus on one, you just might win the race, and others might just be figuring out what to do next. So always focus and just use this tool to your advantage. But yeah, you can go to the next slide.
Yeah, if I could give one important analogy, which will be important in a few months actually, it's more important to win one Olympic gold than seven Olympic silvers, right? Your country gets
Hey,
praised higher for winning.
well put.
This is similar to that. You gotta know where you want to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's sort of this section. I think we can move it on to the final bit and quickly run this through, which is a business offering. I'll let Dr. Shambhavi, I'll hand you the reins to take this
Yeah,
forward.
so we launched this business game plan with Shantanu, Sharjeel, and myself in January, and we've done great because we had clients who came in, uh, and I have to say this that the business game plan is something which makes you go through and we not if you let's say you sign up for it, we send you some template kind of a thing, and there is a form which needs deep analysis to fill. So it's not something which we just came up with and we call business game plan. What the process is actually, it makes us look at your process of how you are doing things. We are able to give an objective view to it, and we've had clients onboarded already from January. We had a special offer in February, and we are continuing that. It's easily available. All you need to do is put in a comment, and if you are looking at your SWOT, your strategy, your goal, everything. This is something which you can start with the business game plan. And what does the business game plan do? I'm going to move it a little bit to Sharjeel and Shantanu to share a little bit more about it. But I want to say this that people have tried it and they have given us some lovely testimonials, which we'll soon be sharing on what all the platforms everywhere because we are so excited and we feel so accomplished, that we were able to do this. And it's been very exciting because we've gone across industries. It's not just been one type of thing. We've gone across industries, from a garage workshop to a coach, to yoga, and to hospitality. It's been fun and we've been enjoying ourselves researching that information so that we could bring it on here and help those individuals, SMEs, with that. Sharjil, go for it, or Shantanu, whoever wants to talk more. I'm getting too excited now.
Chad, no, I'll let you go for it. I'll just cover up whatever you miss out.
No, Sharjeel, I think you just go in. I think it's a lot of us are not
All right,
talking about the same thing. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, just go.
cool. So, basically, what we also do in addition to what Kausham was saying is we use a bunch of paid premium tools that we already have. These are things which most entrepreneurs and business owners, it doesn't make sense for you to invest in these tools because these are proper marketing tools, right? And they cost us a bomb. So that's always fun. Um, what we do is we've been using these tools for a while. These are quite industry standard stuff. So right from seminars, who suggest, answer the public, keywords everywhere, screaming frog, a bunch. I can't even remember half of their names. Um, we do like a very deep audit because diagnosis is root one of the problem, and we sort of diagnose it not just based on the metrics that these tools give us, but we also look at a bunch of additional parameters as well. Like Dr. Shambu was mentioning, we send a questionnaire your way early on, so that we actually know if your website is a reflection of what you truly want. Because what happens is sometimes it might look really pretty, but the back end of it could be totally broken. And this is also true from a social media end. The other part of this is to really look at it as business people. So think of it this way: most entrepreneurs and SME owners, they take their passion and they convert it into their business. But their business, now that is our passion, right? Fundamental of business. Absolutely love that part. Your passion is your business, yes, but your business is our passion, and that's why I think that's the main idea behind the business game plan as well. And that's why we enjoy it so much and we enjoy talking about it and doing it. It's just awesome. It's a lot of fun.
And
Yeah.
I would just like to add one last point, right? Like, I think we covered everything together, but the most important part about business game plan, which we all loved talking about and also sharing with the clients, is we look into your business and give you some hard feedback, which probably someone closer to you, someone working with you is not willing to give you that feedback, right? But for us, it's about what can get you from here to the next level, because the return on investment is such large. Like, it makes us happy that we are able to help someone to really skyrocket their business, to really give them the clarity. And sometimes those feedbacks are hard, but I think those are the most enjoyable part too. Like, when you read it, you get to know, okay, wait, I never thought about this, because of course you wouldn't, like, when you're running a business, you don't think about it that often. So yeah, that's a very important point I want to bring about. So yeah, that's it.
and and mostly in business you're just firefighting. It's everyday
Yeah.
challenges, and somewhere the reason why you started the business, the passion, the fun is a little bit lost. So this actually gives the business game plan, gives you that insight into going back into what was the reason you started, and it makes you kind of reflect. So it's a very reflective exercise in the beginning stages, and then from there on, how you can build on it and how much do you want to build on it. Like, you don't have to fight every battle. And that is the whole point, coming back to why 2 bits of marketing and Shambhavi Spectrum we exist, is so that you don't have to do that fighting, and we are there to help and support, and you focus on your business, your core competency, and do it with the passion which you maintained from the very beginning. And that is the whole business game plan about. And I don't want to finish without reminding that we are going to have 3 more sessions where we are talking about
Yeah.
different aspects, and we are going to come back to this. Please feel free to send us a comment, a post, a DM, anything to Shantanu, Sharjeel, or to me, and we are very happy to address those for everyone, because what is your question could be anybody else's question as well. Please feel free to do that. And Sharjeel and Shantanu, I think we can call it a day if you like. And or is there
Yeah.
some, or call it a night? Sorry, for you.
Night for us, day for you.
Something. So let's. From my side, efficiency is more important than perfection. So just let's start this. Sharjeel and
Yes.
Shantanu, I leave the
Thank
floor
you
to you.
all. I just want to say thank you everyone for listening. Ask your questions. We will answer it. If it's a really hard question, I will love it. If it's a really easy question, I will love it even more. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was really lovely talking to everyone, and we thoroughly enjoyed this live. And I think we can't wait for the next week. Am I right, guys? I think I can't wait.
Yep,
I think we all are excited. We have such great topics to talk about. We all are going to learn from each other, and you guys are going to learn from us. So I think it's going to be really fun.
Thank you so much. And if you have something that you would like us to cover, let us know. We would love to do
Yes,
that as
please.
well. Thank you very much, and bye bye. And have a lovely weekend, because it's definitely coming up weekend for everybody. And for you, thank God it's Friday and a weekend for us.
yep. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Take care.
Bye. Thanks.